So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my favorite albums of 2024, and let's just get into it. So at number 1, I have Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. This is my album of the year. I think that this album is just phenomenal, what she is able to do from a soundscape point of view, the samples that she incorporates, what she's able to do and really fill out these albums. I really appreciate that. So shout out to Beyonce and her producers for sonically what they're able to do. There's so many different moments that I love as well. And yeah, it's mainly a country album, but she has moments where she dabbles in other things. Look at Two Hands to Heaven, look at Spaghetti, for example. Just kind of the way that she all blends that in. I think it's really enjoyable to listen to. She has a country veteran in Dolly Parton on this album. She did her rendition of Jolene. Dolly Parton's on the beginning of Tyrant. So I like those little things, the interludes. It's just a very intentional album, talking about the history of country music, how that intertwines with Black people, her experience in it, her career, all those things. So it's a layered album, and you can tell that it was very intentional. So that's what I enjoyed about Cowboy Carter. I just think that this album is so culturally rich. Whenever you're looking at the productions, whenever you're looking at the lyrics, it's just very intentional. And just shout out to everyone who put together this album. And Beyonce really is so great at conceptualizing what she wants and putting it up. And I thought it was just excellent. I thought the songwriting was great. I thought her vocal performances really stand out, especially on something like American Requiem, which certainly is one of my favorite songs on the album. Bodyguard is my song of the year. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. It was really love at first listen for me. Ya Ya, I already mentioned, was a fun song. I love Tyrant as well, so definitely have to give that one some love. Two Most Wanted with Miley Cyrus is certainly a favorite for me. So I did a review of this album, so if you want to see me talk about every single song and what the meaning was to me and break down the lyrics, you guys can check that out. I'll try to link that below. Beyonce just continues to raise the bar for herself, make music that you can enjoy but also makes you think, and I think that there are just so many excellent moments on this album. I think it's certainly worth listening to. I haven't heard a better album all the way throughout this year. Cowboy Carter definitely has to be my album of the year. Number 2, Meganacti by Megan Thee Stallion. A lot of people didn't really go up for Act 1, and I understand that and everything. I still like Act 1, but I think that Act 2 was better. A lot of people agree with that, and I think it's just Megan doing what she does best, getting into her pocket, just having that sound and everything that fits her, being from the South, especially on stuff like Bigger in Texas. As someone from Texas, I really enjoyed that song, and I thought she was just in her bag. I thought the chorus was really catchy, but the songwriting on here was great. Love the productions on here, so that was really a great moment for me, and definitely one of my favorite songs on this album. Also really enjoyed stuff like Number One Rule and Rocksteady with Flomilli, and I thought it was kind of fun how she referenced that line that Megan had in Bow where she was talking about I'm petty, don't gotta edit, check the Getty, and then Flomilli was talking about she doesn't have to check the Getty, something like that. So I thought it was cool how she referenced that. I thought that they both worked together really well in the song, and I think Flomilli continues to be underrated as well. And so you had stuff like a Freak, You Think I Love Him as well, so those were great additions to this. So yeah, I like most of this stuff more often than not. I think it's Megan doing what she does best. I thought the production was dynamic and really good to listen to. Love her songwriting. You have a lot of clever and funny moments on here too, so I think this is great. I think this is great. It's been one of my most replayed albums this year, so it's definitely up there. And I do want to say this list isn't in order besides my number 1, so I want to stress that very heavily, but I will still put Act 2 over Act 1. Now to number 3, Eternalsunshine by Arianagrande. A lot of y'all hated on this album. A lot of y'all hated on this album. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. Okay, you look at my Spotify rap, it was Arianagrande down. And what this album did for me, I'm thankful, and Wicked A too. And so Supernatural, the song, excellent. It was just breathtaking to listen to. The Boy Is Mine is great. I absolutely love the intro on here too, and I like that she was getting out of the trap production because I felt like it was tired. I really love Sweetener. I think that's her best album, but she did it on Sweetener, she did it on Thank You Next, she did it on Positions, and I've been saying enough of the trap. She finally let it go, so I was thankful for that because I feel like we had a fresh sound. Shout out to Max Martin, shout out to all the other producers and songwriters and all that stuff, so that was great. She's talking about her divorce, kind of the toll that took on her on stuff like I Wish I Hated You, for example, don't want to break up again. She's kind of talking about how her marriage has essentially turned into a situationship. So you get depth from her, you really do. Like I said before, I don't know why people are expecting Ariana Grande to be Taylor Swift in a sense. It's not a diss to Taylor Swift because I do like her music, but people are expecting something different than what Ariana Grande is going to give. I feel like if she had 3 months or 3 years, the album was basically going to be the same. Glad that she was able to talk about her divorce and get some personal moments in there and everything, but there was a lot to like. I mean, Yes and she was basically saying, yeah, I'm up to my eyes in controversy, but I don't give a fuck. And that's song 8. The Yes and remix with Mariah too. Y'all are just haters. I don't care. If you listen to the original and you listen to the remix, Mariah added so much dimension to that, I feel, and I think that that was a great moment, so I really enjoyed the remix as well. I think sonically it was a breath of fresh air. Lyrically, she's touching on how she felt about a divorce. I thought the vocal performances were pretty good. I disagree when she basically said that this is her most vocal album and stuff like that, in the sense that she had her most complex arrangements or whatever she said about that. I disagree. If you listen to Dangerous Woman, that probably was, honestly, or even Sweetener if you listen to stuff like Get Well Soon. I don't really get that. You know, are there moments where she could have sang more? Yeah. Am I missing a little bit vocally? Yes. I still think it was a great album. Y'all hate on it too much, and it gave what needs to be gave, so shout out to Eternal Sunshine. I love the album. Number 4, I have Brat by charlixcx. So this isn't the album I would typically listen to be honest with you, but I thought it was great. I thought it was fun to listen to, and so she has moments where she's getting introspective on stuff like Sympathy is a Knife, and also I Might Say Something Stupid, just talking about the space that she's added to her career and everything, kind of feeling like she hasn't done enough, and just thinking about herself in the larger landscape of music. She also touches on this in her song Rewind as well, but she also has songs that are really fun to listen to, like 360 I think is quite excellent. excellent to listen to. And 365, I feel like those are perfect ways to bookend the album. Apple, I feel like it's kind of just about generational trauma and stuff like that, but it's still really fun to listen to as well. I already mentioned Rewind, that definitely has to be one of my favorite songs on this album. So I feel like there's a lot to like, and there's a good balance of doing both. Even on I Think About It All the Time, she's kind of talking about the state she feels like her career is in, and should I just kind of pack it up and have children, and how do I feel about that? And the deluxe tracks I felt like were really good and worth mentioning as well. I really love Spring Breakers. I think that that should be a single. Wasn't crazy about Guess. I don't like that record, I will say that, but I also like the other deluxe song too. Yeah, I feel like this album is a really fun album to listen to. Listen to it. Don't, you know, take it too seriously. It's good for what it is. Not an album I would expect myself to like, but it's definitely been one of my most replayed albums of this year, and I think the deluxe is great. Number 5, Everything I Thought It Was by Justin Timberlake. And so off the top, I have to say Justin Timberlake as a person, trash, and every chance I get to slander the man, I will do it. If you saw a Justin Timberlake hate tweet and it was retweeted, it probably was me. And I think that we can hold him accountable for what he has done that's problematic in the past regarding the Britney situation, Janet situation, etc. And also say, hey, I think his music's pretty good. And so that's what I strive to do, and I think it's important to have that distinction and hold people accountable. And so what I liked about Everything I Thought It Was is I felt like this is Justin Timberlake doing what he does best, in the sense that it felt like a mesh of Future Sex Love Sounds and 2020 Experience Part 1, which are his 2 best albums for my money. Am I saying that it's as good as those albums? Absolutely not, okay? I'm just saying that's kind of the soundscape that this album was giving. Some of the best stuff on this album, I really enjoyed stuff like Technicolor. I thought that that was vintage. Justin Timberlake very much giving you a 2020 feel, having all those different parts of the song. I thought that that was fabulous, and the productions in there, the vocals, the lyrics, like all those little details, they were great. They were great. Imagination, I just thought it was a song that was whimsical. I thought it was excellent. I love Imagination. The harmonies, the way that it starts off definitely has to be fun. I also really liked Infinity Sex as well, just all the different parts of that, so it's definitely a favorite for me. Sanctified, Tony the Wigway, didn't really need his feature to be honest with you, but I still really enjoyed Sanctified. Also, I definitely have to give a nod to What Lovers Do. I think that that's a great record. Yeah, I thought the soundscapes on here were great. I thought his vocals on here were great. I thought those moments where he kind of leaned too much on autotune and Melodyne. Like, look at a song like Flame, I think the second half, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, to be honest. But for the most part, it was really good. It was really good. A song I have to give an honorable mention to is a song he did with his fellow members of NSYNC, Paradise. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was excellent. Some songs I don't care for, Fucking Up the Disco and Memphis, I almost turned the album off. I was very close, okay? Be thankful your past body of work saved you. I really thought that No Angels, I thought that that was a great way to reinvigorate everything. I really enjoyed that song. I didn't care for Conditions. I didn't think that that was a good way to end off the album. I thought Paradise was a full circle moment. That would have ended off the album better. So I had songs I didn't care for. But for the most part, really enjoyed this album. Really enjoyed this album. Like, it got unfairly raked over the coals because of the whole situation with Britney in the book. And he should be held accountable for that. I understand. And I feel like people kind of let that color their view of the album, and they weren't being objective and saying, hey, the album's good for what it is. And Justin Timberlake, you know, he had his good moments of 24. He had his flop moments of 2024. Got arrested. Let me put the mugshot on the screen so you guys can see it. Deserve. License suspended. Tour almost ruined. But hey, album was good. And any Justin Timberlake jokes you have, send it to me on Twitter. I'd love to see it after you say 25, but album was good. I'm sorry. One of my favorite albums of this year for sure, and I replayed it a lot. At number 6, I have Kaceymusgraves' Deeper Well. So I thought that this was a fabulous album, and I'm not really a huge country music listener. I very much like storytelling country. I hate bro country, can't stand it. And the good news for me is that she's doing a lot of great storytelling here, a lot of wonderful soundscapes, some of my favorite songs on here. I thought Anime Eyes was breathtaking. Lonely Millionaire is probably my favorite song on the album. Also really like Conversations with Friends, with the detail there. Deeper Well was gorgeous. Cardinal as an opener, all the guitars and moments there and the way that it builds up, I thought was truly breathtaking. So there's some great moments there. I had my songs that I didn't really particularly care for. The Architect, why are you putting that all up for the awards and acting like it's the pinnacle of your album? I don't know. I think there's better songs than that, but that's a conversation for a different day. I did review this album, and I've also done reviews for all these other albums that I talked about. I have a review for Everything I Thought It Was, if you would like to check that out. Brat review. I have Eternal Sunshine, a reaction. Overall, I thought this was great. Her vocal performances on here were absolutely beautiful. I love the productions. I love the writing for the most part, so it all came together in a beautiful album. The deluxe songs, I didn't really care for most of them, but I'll leave that down below in my review so you guys can check that out. At number 7, I got doechii, Alligator Bites, Never Healed. And so this is my first doechii project that I'd ever listened to. I probably heard a song or two before, but man, this is probably the best female rap project of this year, if you actually let me tell it. I just thought that there was so much to like on this album. She's talking about her place in the music industry, and we had stuff like Denial's a River, for example. Really love Beverly Hills. That was just a great song, period. Nissan Altima, one of the best songs of this year. I do not care. The chorus, the moments on there, it was something for me. So I have a lot of love for Nissan Altima, to be honest with you, and probably my favorite song on the album still, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the soundscapes, I enjoyed the lyricism, I enjoyed her deliveries, how she's changing up her flow, so probably the best female rap project of this year, and underrated for sure, so I'd highly recommend it. Number 8, Megan Act 1, Megan Thee Stallion. I kind of talked about this earlier. A lot of people didn't like it. I still think Act 2 is better, but there was some great stuff on here. Both age shit. Kyle Rich did ruin it. He sounds like he got out remedial English, unfortunately, but I still really enjoyed that song. I really love Accent featuring Glorilla. They both were excellent on that song. Glorilla really slid on her verse. I really liked Rattle. I thought that that was a fun moment. Hiss, that was something for the ages. Okay, if you were on Twitter during Hiss week, you know. Okay, so definitely have to give some 10s where 10s are due. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. Y'all are hating, but it was an enjoyable project overall, so definitely have to give some love for meganacti, especially songs like Booty Girl, which we're not talking about, Paper Together, etc. At number 9, I got Chloe, Trouble in Paradise. I feel like In Pieces is one of the worst albums of the decade, to be honest with you. I thought the only good point on it were the vocal arrangements and the vocals. The songwriting was absolutely abysmal. For My Money, Pray It Away is one of the worst songs of the decade. I don't give a fuck. And so there were just moments that I wasn't really fond of. The Chris Brown feature and all those things, I thought it was distasteful. And so there was things that I didn't like about the album. I came with a lot more negatives than positives. And so with Trouble in Paradise, I feel like she really bounced back and she gave what we wanted. Okay, I felt like her vocal arrangements on here were still really strong, especially on Want Me with Holly, which is one of my favorite songs of this year. I thought it was gorgeous. Those vocal arrangements at the end, songwriting, the production, all of it, it just came together for a perfect storm. So you had that as well. You also had some really good songwriting moments on here as well, some catchy stuff like Strawberry Lemonade, for example. So favorite songs in this album, like I already said, Want Me is certainly up there for me. Favorite song on the album, Boy Bye was a fun song, Strawberry Lemonade, Nice Girls Finished Last, temporarily single as well. So there was a lot of great offerings on this album. I felt like it was a return to form. Shout out to everyone who worked with her on this album, but she was still able to find a way to balance everything that she wanted to do. I feel like it went under the radar. A lot of people didn't give her a chance because they didn't like the first album. I feel like people don't list albums out, but definitely go listen to it. I love the album. And now at my 10th and final spot, I'm going to have Flo, Access All Areas. I really enjoy Flo since they came out. Really, I've been following every release and everything. So we finally get their debut album and I was pleased. One thing that I really like is they're really great at having that Y2K sound and also kind of making it modern at the same time. So that's what they do all over this album, which I really enjoy. There are moments where I feel like they try to go more modern and it kind of backfired. It sounds dated. Like I Would Hate to Be My Ex, for example. Nocturnal wasn't great in my opinion. So there was moments like that I didn't care for. But most of the time it's pretty good. Accessallareas, the song, that last 30 seconds especially, favorite part of the song. I think it's excellent. Check was a really fun single and I've been replaying it a lot in context of the album. Absolutely love Soft as well. So those are songs that I really go for in this album. But it's more to like than not. And if you're a fan of contemporary R&B like myself, definitely go give this a listen for all the harmonies and vocal arrangements. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. They do a lot right in this album for me. On to my honorable mentions. Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish. I haven't really listened to the album in totality enough to justify putting it on a top 10, which is why it's here. I figured I'd mention it. But there was a lot of good moments with the production and songs that I really liked. I thought Birds of a Feather is absolutely a gorgeous song, and I really liked Lunch as well. So those are the songs that I go back to. I had issues with the mixing. I feel like the mixing wasn't loud enough, and I feel like that was a unfamiliar gaffe by Phineas in terms of the production, so I would definitely say that. But overall, I thought it was a decent album for what it's worth, and I figured I would mention it. Also, Flomilli, Fine Host Day. I really liked Understand. I like New Me. I believe that's when Anisi is on. She completely botched her part. Neva. So those are songs that I really enjoyed, and Flomilli doing some great things on that. And Never Lose Me was kind of already previously released, but I really like that song. Next up, Quantum Baby, Tinashe. Nasty kind of took the world by storm, and I really enjoyed that moment. But you also had No Stimulation, which I thought was a great moment, and I enjoyed it. So I think you guys should listen to it. It was a good album. Portrait by Samara Joy. I thought that this was a worthy listen as well, kind of giving you that jazz, that older feel. Think about like Aretha Franklin when she was making stuff like Skylark and kind of in her jazz days. It's a good moment. So I like that album for what it's worth. In terms of my favorite deluxes and re-releases of this year, Olivia Rodrigo, she released her Gus Deluxe with stuff like Obsessed, and I thought that that was a fun listen. Arianagrande did do the deluxe for My Everything with songs that have been out for forever. And also Mariah Carey, Rainbow 25. If you know one thing about me, Rainbow is one of my favorite Mariah Carey albums of all time. I don't give a fuck. A lot of people hate on Rainbow. They think it's one of her worst albums and everything. It's not a beloved album. But for me, she ate on Rainbow. She ate on Rainbow. And so to get a 25th anniversary edition of Rainbow, it was pleasing to me because a lot of people said it wasn't happening, and y'all were wrong, okay? We got stuff like There For Me. We got the How Much So Def remix. We got a different version of Thank God I Found You where she's doing different stuff like that you don't hear in the original. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it overall, and I love Rainbow, and so to have this moment was pleasing to me. It was pleasing to me. And then last up is SZA's SOS Deluxe, Lana. This is something she's been teasing for over a year. Punch, Count Your Days. Glad he's finally fired. And so glad that we finally got it. I think there's a lot to like on here. Saturn is definitely got to be one of my favorite songs of this year. I love Drive. I think that's a great moment. Cry Baby was probably my favorite upon listen of this deluxe. I also really like stuff like Scorsese, Baby Daddy, the Boy from South Detroit song I thought was really good. I really like the Diamond Boy song as well. So I thought that there was a lot of good stuff, and it's kind of giving you a blend of SOS and Control, which I liked, but you also feel some new growth there. So I was pleased by it. I was pleased by it, to be honest with you. There was one song I didn't care for towards the beginning, and 30 for 30 I thought was trash. But for the most part, I liked it. I have a reaction to it, so I'll link that below if you guys are interested in watching that. So yeah, that's going to be my top 10 list of my favorite albums of 2024. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What are your favorite albums? And we can continue continue that conversation and everything, but this was a lot of fun to do. But yeah, glad I uploaded every single week this year. Hopefully this and my songs of the year will be uploaded and out by the time you see this, but songs of the year is coming too, filmed on the same day. There are some ideas that I definitely left on the table this year. I will definitely say that, times where I might have neglected the channel, so I apologize for that. And so I definitely want to get some more videos out for you guys next year. Yeah, this is going to be one of my last videos of this year, so I wanted to say thank you so much for all the support you guys have given me on my channel, whether that has been a like on a video, a share, a positive comment, just anything you've done to contribute to this channel in a positive way. Whether you've been here from the beginning of the year or you just dropped in last week, I appreciate it all. So just thank you guys so much for your support on here. It doesn't go unnoticed. It means a lot to me. Thank you for your support on the second channel by extension as well. Could not have imagined it doing what it did this year. 8.9k subscribers, the views, it's been insane. So I have to say thank you, because without all the views and all the support, I would be nowhere. So it means a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, like below, helps me out a lot. I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Hit the bell, get a notification on your phone when I post and not miss some brand new videos come out. First link below is going to be my second YouTube channel. And on there, I kind of just like to talk about current topics in pop music and pop culture. So recently I talked about how SZA fired her manager, and I was talking about how important are managers in the music industry in terms of your perception of the artist and all those things. I talked about that situation and all that, so you guys can check that out. I did a video where I was talking about songs where I feel like the featured artist carried a song on their back, songs where they were carried by the chorus and the chorus is basically the only good part of the song, songs where I feel like the feature was trash. I gave my review of Beyonce's Netflix performance that she did at halftime, and you know, Mariah's contribution. I gave my review of Mariah Carey's concert, so you guys can check that out. And I also like to post about dance songs on this channel too. I've done reviews for it. It's something that I really love, so you guys can check that out too. I talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I like to talk about sports in there. Got my Joe Burrow on right now. I got Patrick Mahomes behind me, you guys can see it. I got Angel Reese right over there, hopefully you can see it. I got a Jordan Love jersey back there. So it's a hobby that I really enjoy. I like to talk about who I think is going to win certain matchups and all that. So I'll link all that below if you guys would like to check me out on the second channel. And I've uploaded every single day this year by the time you're seeing this. I won't be uploading every single day next year. That's something I've already predetermined. I'll still be uploading a lot though. So if you want to see more of me, you want to see shorter form content, you want to see a variation of topics, check me out on the second channel. I have a lot of fun over there. Again, thank you for your support. Also, social media, Twitter at theanastasia25 and at anastasiaw18 if you want to see me talk about pop culture and trending topics and all those things. Instagram, anastasia.womack. My Spotify, anastasia.womack. My TikTok, anastasia.womack. And I mainly post the videos that I post on my second channel on there. So you guys can follow me on TikTok. Hopefully it's not banned. I really like TikTok. The second account, Anastasia250, where it's mainly sports stuff, but I also like to talk about other things and music and all those things. And my dance films account, theanastasia25_, where I have my dance films clips and edits that my sister made for me that I'm posting. So you guys can check that out as well. Also, Airbud, you guys can check me out on there and see what I'm listening to in real time. We Palestine must educate ourselves on this. Fuck Trump. If you support him, unsubscribe. My channel's never a place for bigotry. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next year.